Hey everyone, this is Diamond Rivera, and welcome again to the Live Discussions with Diamond podcast. Right now, this is episode 200. Yes, I said it, episode 200. We have come so far, and everyone that's tuning in, much love to all of you tuning in. Drop a comment, drop a like, share us on YouTube and Facebook. Hey, we're going from 200 and onwards. And definitely today's episode is very special indeed. Honestly, having this opportunity to speak to this woman, meeting her last year at the Dallas Book Chapter Festival, alongside her partner, John Renego, out there in the California area, having this pleasure to have this woman on, who for me, watching her work over the years, is something to be celebrated. And I feel especially besides her dancing, we're going to learn a little bit more about her. So let's get ready, guys. Everyone, please welcome, representing Anaheim, California, the one and only Shiloh Cardenas.
Hey.
Oh, look at you! Look at you over here with the headset, like me, like you know.
I gotta just blend in with you. You know what you're talking about.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, what is that? Kombucha, water? What is that? Yeah.
It's just water, dude.
Hey, I got me some water.
I need some kombucha. Actually, I just got out of the hospital yesterday, and I'm like, I need some good stuff for my body.
First of all, I want to say I'm glad. I hope you're recovering well. I mean, even though at episode 200, to have you literally coming from the hospital the day before, and still saying, "Hey, is everything good for the interview?" And then you're ready to go. And hey, there's no other person right now would want to be able to speak to but you. And honestly, Shiloh, thank you so much for coming on.
Christopher, thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to it. I'm sad like we had to push it a little bit before, but we both had stuff going on. So,
and for me, again, as we've talked privately, me having this podcast means so much because I realize, we go to congresses and festivals and weekenders. We meet people on and off. Maybe there's some artists that we met along the way that, maybe we wanted to just have that one-on-one conversation. But most of the time we're in passing, or we get a nice dance with them, and maybe we exchange numbers here and there. But realizing a lot of artists like yourself have really amazing stories. It's more than just dancing. Of course, we always say dancing has always been a part of our lives. But talking to many of you, realizing, no, there's so much more to that. There's so much more that meets the eye. And being able to celebrate your artistry, celebrating this podcast's milestone at 200 episodes. And right now, I got to give a big shout out all the way from the Texas area, Dot Creative Media, showing some love out there. Oliver as well. We got to give a big shout out to Galileo Flores, DJ 6 out of North Carolina right now. And, for me, Shiloh, of course, we're going to talk about, the successes at congresses and festivals, but realizing there's always a history before that. And definitely found out some interesting things, but let's kind of take it back. Shiloh, kind of give me an understanding of who you are before Zuchata, before the dancing, before it all.
Well, once upon a time, I was this young girl with many hopes and dreams. Where should I start? Do you want me to start with just like dancing itself, or outside?
I would say it's like even like when was that first initial introduction? And we're not talking even. I'm not even going to say just formal. But, was the cliche notion of dance has always been a part of my life relatable to you?
Kind of. So, in kindergarten, I was in ballet and gymnastics. And there's like certain things you never get rid of. Like I can always like fall into a butterfly position and just sit like that without having to like push my legs down. It's just like, I'm here. But I can't do the splits right now for the life of me. It's one of those things like you always need to work on that. But I've been lazy. I'll be honest. I've been lazy. Working on it again. But I did have it in my life. My older sister, she was like somebody who I always looked up to a lot, and she danced. She also professionally did salsa dancing as well. She's a badass, Shiloh Cardenas. But then just like growing up, I've taken different things. I taught myself a little bit of belly dancing, which I like to incorporate into like my body rolls itself, just like the isolation of the movement. I've done hip hop, jazz, tap, contemporary, modern, jazz. I think I said jazz already. And then I did ballroom, and actually ballroom's the reason I kind of went into social dancing, because some of my friends from the class were like, let's go social dancing, like let loose a little. And so I tried it. I was like, oh, this is fun. Of course, everyone's like, you're a ballroom dancer, huh? I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm like, let's dance. And then, like, of course, like the teachers and instructors were just like, you're good. Just you need to kind of get down and into the moves and whatnot. Yeah. Like, you're so up, we need you to get down here with us. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll work on that. So wow, it's been a long up and down process.
Hey, I mean, the thing is, most times I hear from people, dance has always been a part of my life, whether it's at the family houses and, the little family get-togethers and parties. But realizing for you, your kind of your history, your journey is really showing how well-rounded you are. Because you meet those in this dance scene that they've been dancing primarily all their life in different disciplines, or the ones that happen to find a social and that intrigued them to come more, start taking some classes, then go to a congress. There's different journeys and different experiences for people. So, my question to you is, going to that first, as they would say, Latin social, or bachata or salsa social.
What salsa? Because when I went, it was all basically salsa. People ask for bachata, they're like, wait, what?
And that's the thing is, that's very interesting that you say that, because many people who I see have been in this scene, I feel like 2015 to 2017 felt like a magical 3 years that many people started getting introduced into the bachata scene.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that, because like my first festival, I would say, was in 2014, I think 2014 or 2015, and like there was definitely like a lot about bachata. And this is also when I was like starting, like I was interested in it. I'm like, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Like before I ever really went to socials, I was dancing bachata in my house, probably not well. Oh, I had a chair and everything, and I was like,
oh, wow.
Just like, it was probably horrible to see, but yeah, I was really interested in it. But it's funny because I go to socials and I'd even request it. I was that person who requested the freaking bachata song. Like, what the hell?
Ooh, okay.
And like, I'd wait an hour or something. I'm like, so you guys don't play that song?
Oh my! Wow, you were that person, but
but it's also not that I didn't love salsa, because I still love salsa to this day. Yes. But it's just like, I love both, and I don't see why I can't love everything. Because I literally love everything. I love zouk, I love kizomba, I love urban kids, I love samba. It's all wonderful. Why can't I love all of it and want to dance all of it?
Thank you. I mean, even here, Nicholas says, I would probably say 2014 for bachata rise.
You're right, Nick. You're right.
You see, I mean, even some people got to fact check it here, but also one person I have to give a really big shout out to is one of my good friends, Mr. Luis Alberto here, saying, go Shiloh, one of our first friends when we moved to Cali.
Oh, dude, they stayed with us. That was so much fun.
Oh my God, Jess and Luis, we love you guys here at the podcast, and big shout out to you guys. You guys have a new, I guess they have a new company now, so.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Hey, I'm glad to see all of my friends prospering and having success. But, with Shiloh, my question really to you then is, and something you really said that really, for me, I hold true too, because like you said, why can't you love all styles? And it's very interesting, again, knowing that you started in the salsa scene, because I feel like I've noticed a pattern. Most people kind of start out, I would say, pre-2015, started out in salsa, then found bachata when the room started opening up. And then that's where then you find the zouk or the kizomba. I feel like there's kind of like a transition, or it just, I don't know. Maybe there's a pattern there if you don't see.
Well, I found zouk because John showed it to me. But before John showed that to me, I actually found urban kiz first, or kiz. I actually took a class because I was highly intrigued by it. Like, before I went to my first festival, I saw a video and I was like, I really want to learn that, because I personally, I love like when I was doing ballroom, I loved tango and I loved Argentine tango. I was taking private lessons often for Argentine tango.
Yeah.
And something about that just like speaks to my heart. I'm just like, everything about it just like, I love it. I love it. And to me, urban kids and kizomba, like that connection also with like the way they move the footwork, like it really resounds similarly to me. And
Yeah.
that I am like passionate about that. I'm learning more on that. But I learned Zouk first with John. And I'm actually not somebody who took any class with me.
Hey, I mean, everybody has a different experience.
But I learned just through like, you know, one-on-one time all the time at the gym with John. Like
Yeah.
that's private lessons constantly.
Yeah.
And then of course like everyone I could get my hands on dance wise, because if it's like, all right, the social started like 10 minutes ago, why aren't we there? That's me.
Ooh, okay. Hey, there's the fashion be late people, but see, you're the one that's the go-getter.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I want to dance with this person and this person and this person and this person. And it's more of like, I think I'm also so hard on myself that I'm like, I missed that. And I will either ask somebody to do it again, or I'll just like stare at something like crazy. I probably look angry. Like, what is that? I need to know.
Hey,
But
I appreciate. I wish we had more people in this community like you. I mean, I just love to dance overall, all around,
yeah.
and But you also having that experience pre-hand with so many other different disciplines. That right there is a testament to really your focus, to your determination. But like you said, you're finding something you're
Or
starting
is
to
it
love.
unfocused?
Mm. I mean, I think you must have focus to now be able to have the capacity then to teach multiple
I
people.
I can agree with that one. And also like it's just there's a learning curve to it, obviously. I can definitely say I didn't think I was a great teacher in the beginning. Um, I for 12 years I did teach, like I was a behavioral therapist with special needs children. So there was like this kind of teaching experience that I already have.
Mhm.
And I've always liked to inform others. It's also how I like learned in my anatomy class. Like I had to teach it to people to be able to be good at it. Um, but just like with teaching of dance itself, it's more like I would have to train myself and like really, it sucks because I'm like, I need to look for where your flaws are. Like, but I also have to look at where my flaws are and be able to be like, yeah, I'm not perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. I need to work on this. And to this day, there's so many things, a million things I need to work on. But whether I am like considered amazing, which I don't think, or way down here, like I'm still at least able to recognize that I'm not great at some things sometimes. But then also when I'm looking at another person, I'm like, even if you might be doing something better than me, I at least have some information that if you're willing to listen, like I can see this. Like I can tell somebody like just by watching them, like I know exactly where your weight's at. I know your weight is on the outside of your foot and it's rolling forward or it's rolling backwards. Like I have trained myself to see that. Like John and I have had like many teams over the years, and it's just like I have to be able to sadly see like where you're messing up.
And that's the thing is too. Something you're saying that it hits home to me because in terms of many guests that I've talked to, I've realized this within what they tell me. A lot of times they're or you are your biggest critic. Before anyone else can correct you constructively, you already are doing the work pre-hand.
Yeah, I'm
And
the crazy lady at the gym doing a million spins, almost crying. You're like, I can't get it right.
but hey, but I think also it takes people to kind of see that in you or see how much you've been appreciated by other people. Because, for example, John here is saying, Shiloh doesn't give herself enough credit. She's the most underrated dancer instructor in probably all of US.
Aw, I'll give you your money later for saying that. Thank you.
And for me as well, just seeing, especially with dance as a whole, when it came to salsa, bachata, kizomba, zouk, really seeing over the past 5 to 6 years specifically a big surge in events popping up. Of course, going through COVID in 2020, how it really changed the outlook of our community because I've talked to many guests, and one thing I see that's very common is the scene that was pre 2020 is a lot different now. whether it's the capacity of the same people we knew going to events, whether it's a new generation of dancers coming in, but also now realizing a lot of teachers who maybe are still here or have moved on in different capacities in their life. But now with that new generation of teaching, but being able to teach, a question I have for you is be transitioning from being the novice and kind of learning from square one, and actually that first gig or that first opportunity to teach a group of people, what was that feeling like?
That was scary. Like the first time that I don't even know if it was the first time, but it was close to like the beginning of it. I remember there was a time when John and I were having some group classes, and he separated us, like the guys and the girls. And so I was by myself. Like, well, shit. Okay. I don't know if I'm here. I need to blurb that out.
No. This is, you can say anything you want.
But no, it was scary because it's like I knew what I was talking about, but you know, you always have people who they want to push your buttons or they can feel maybe like your nervousness, so like they start being like, oh well, I'm a badass, so I'm gonna like look like the badass and make you probably look like crap. And like I've had situations where there was those people, and I obviously had those nerves, and I was just like, well, yeah, I mean, and I'd start getting a little confused, even though like before I was like, I know what I was talking about, but now I'm second guessing. But still, like when those situations happen, it's more along the lines like, well, this is how I do it. I've trained and I've learned to do it this way. If you find a better way that suits you, or somebody who has more experience and you're going to go learn from them that knows better than I do, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
John and I have always like told even our students, like we've never been those teachers who were like, hey, you can only stay with us, you can only learn from us, you can't go to any other school, you can't go to any other teams. Like we actually promoted to our teams like, hey, why don't you guys maybe join one other team or like take some classes outside of here? And don't just take bachata. You need to take some salsa, like maybe go take a kazoo course over there that's happening that weekend. Like Urban Kids is awesome. They have some great connection too. You need to learn some of this stuff. Just like dabble in things. Go to a ballet class, please. Go to a ballet class.
I know. Hey, I hear the honesty in that tone because I definitely think as well. A lot of dancers, especially in salsa, you will notice your progress when you start taking ballet classes. You know, flexibility classes, point classes. You know, from my personal experience. Well, so then my question to you is, you know, going into that teaching role, of course, but then in California, in Anaheim, was there a big bachata community, or were you guys kind of the ones spearheading or really starting of that community in the beginning?
I'm gonna be honest, I can't really remember whether or not we were spearheading. I know that we were, I think, probably one of the few, because everything was still more primarily salsa.
Yeah.
I know Zouk had its own thing, but as for bachata, like, or at the very least, John and I were the ones who were very adamant about like connection basis. So, like, if you wanted to learn about connection, I know like a lot of people were, from what I've been told, not trying to be like, that's us, because you never know, maybe there's other people that I wasn't aware of. But we heard from a lot of people like, yeah, we direct people to you guys, like if they want to learn how to like connect their partner, because that's like our biggest thing. We're not huge like, let's show off and like do these crazy tricks you really don't want to do on the dance floor, because please don't do that to me. Please don't do that to me.
Yeah, there's a performance and then there's social dancing.
But no, we're huge on like the social aspect of it and like how to really connect. Like we still want to make sure you look good while you do it.
Of course.
Like how do you make the follow, and even how do you sometimes show your lead and help them do a move by connecting properly, like your frame and everything. Like, and I am also somebody like I've kept it from my ballroom stuff that when I'm dancing with somebody, I protect my lead too. My leads protect my back, I protect their back. So like you might feel me tug on you, you don't know why, but I probably just saved you from getting hit in the head by somebody. Or from you backing up into
Thank you. Because hey, I think too, it's crazy as that an art form that we love that helps us connect. We would love some space on the dance floor if we could, but you know, a lot of times that is kind of out of the question. So I appreciate you saying like, hey, it takes two. It can't always be the lead. The follower has to have some awareness as well. You know, so I appreciate you saying that.
I can say that like when it comes to our classes, at least, um, I'm vocal. I'm vocal. So like we recently had a class, I think at Stevens, and I straight up told them that if you're doing something wrong, I'm gonna say it, or I'm not gonna do it. Like if you don't lead it, I'm not doing it. Like you want me to do a double turn, you didn't prep me, and you tell me, oh, it was a double turn. Like I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what it is. Do it. But then I also tell my fellows, I'm like, you need to help them. You need to prep your body. If they're prepping, you prep it. And then also, like, don't lay on your lead.
Yeah.
Like, I'm also a lead. So like, because I have chronic back pain, and sometimes you'll see me just switch to leading because I can control it better as a lead.
Oh, okay.
And there's some falls where I'm like, oh, this looks like it's gonna be great, and then like it's one of like the most petite girls you've ever seen in your life,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you are the heaviest thing I have ever felt.
And people don't think they think is that
I'm like, I can't handle this. If you drop yourself, you're going down. I'm gonna let you go.
Hey, I appreciate that because hey, I think the misconception is people and listen, I've seen this at events. I've watched people pick someone that they believe is going to help them and make the dance more fun. When in reality, if that person doesn't know what they're doing, it's going to be the longest, toughest, most uncomfortable dance ever. And I don't think it has to do with how much a person weighs because I've seen
absolutely not. I have seen and danced with like bigger women and bigger men, and they're all like, oh, they're butter. They're so smooth, and I love it. I love it. They know how to hold. They hold their bodies. Like they know their frame. They know like how to shift their weight properly, and it's just like you cannot judge a book by its cover whatsoever.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and it's very interesting to hear that we have Nicholas saying Zucchata was definitely one of the socials that spearheaded the sensual fusion style of bachata and LAOC. So now, really getting into that is what was the creation of Zucchata? How did that come about?
Well, honestly, that didn't start with me. That started with John and his old partner, Christina.
Christina Montoya.
Yes, Christina Montoya. She and him, he and she, proper word usage. They were fusing it together. They even did like this competition and whatnot where people were like, whoa, what is that? I wish I could have seen it myself personally, but I didn't. But I think like around 5 or 6 months into the creation and the happening of the little social Zucchata, it was little at this little Pico Rivera studio. It was adorable. In comparison to what we have now. Like I remember like they came up with that, and then of course I met John, and then I think I'm getting off topic. But
no.
But no, like I think around 5 to 6 months in, I came in and I liked the guy, I liked the dance, I liked the social. So I just started helping out. He was always like, stop it. Why are you doing that? And I was like, I don't know. I just want to. Shut up. Leave me alone. And I just like kept going from there. And like, I think Christina ended up going to another place. I forgot where. So they weren't able to be partners anymore. And John and I were always practicing together, and he was just doing things mostly by himself for a bit. And then one of our Zuchatas, he was just like, you're going to assist me in my class. Like, wait, what? Okay. And it just kind of took off from there. Like I started assisting him all the time, and we were practicing nonstop at the gym. And yeah, it just took off, and that's all I can remember.
Wow. See, that kind of that fairy tale in a sense. And I think John is in the room. I don't know if he can confirm.
No, he's in the other room, but he might be watching. I'm sure he can hear me through the walls.
Yeah. But you know, just realizing too is that hey, everything really happens for a reason. You being in those positions and those opportunities and seeing where you are now is that with traveling and honestly, I really love seeing, especially in different cities, the scenes blossoming. Because
Mhm.
again, I really appreciate hearing the way you're talking about your teaching style. Because for me, dancing many years, but being involved in my community in one form or fashion, my thing is this, in my personal opinion, there's so many teachers, but the quality sometimes lacks because there's so many teachers that sometimes people are trying to figure out who should I go to.
Mhm.
But also, what you said earlier was you being a teacher that understands, hey, if I see something in you that you can learn a little bit more from someone, I'm going to tell you to go there. And that's something that for me I commend because, again, people love this or have a passion for this, but for many, it's a business. And for you to be so understanding and truthful and saying, hey, if you choose to go here, great. Because, and I've told many people too, and studio owners as well, at the end of the day, this is the consumer's money. They
Mhm.
choose who they want to go to, they choose who they want to work with. And you shouldn't subjugate them to only be in your studio. Because,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I say this if you're tuning, there's a difference between taking some classes than also joining a performance team. And if you're joining 4 or 5 teams, hopefully you got 4 or 5 times the amount of scheduling you can do to make sure you go to every rehearsal, every show,
Mhm.
everything. So, for me, I think people should learn and have a balance. But at the same accord, having people like you being honest and saying, "Hey, I encourage people to learn from others." That's how we all learn. Sometimes you're in one place, you can only learn but so much. But seeing, especially the visuals I've seen over the years, and just the happiness in people's faces tell it all. The facial expressions, the connection that you both have, whether it's on stage, whether it's in a demo, whether it's around your students. And like I've seen, for me, I'm glad that our community has a person like you that, of course, you can dance, but also you can play some great games behind that. See,
Hell
of
yeah!
course, we
Get
know
my
you're a
game.
game. Of course, but trust me, we'll get into that in our last segment called the random. But really now, before we get into that, lastly, is we're in 2022,
Mhm.
and for you, do you see more of your career going in the sense of just more traveling, more honing in on your community, or there's some maybe projects that are coming up that you can speak of that's in your future?
All the above.
Hey, that's a beautiful thing to hear.
So I know that like John and I definitely want to travel more to like other festivals,
Mhm.
but just not necessarily out here in the LA scene. I feel like we've met a lot of the dancers. I want to broaden my horizons.
Yes.
Um, like when we go to festivals, we not only do we like to teach but and perform, but we like to also like whether we are actually involved in or just sitting and watching. I
Mhm.
like to learn. Like if I see a teacher's name on there, I'm like, oh, I want to see what they have to say. Like I feel like no matter what class you take, you can learn at least one little thing. One like there was a time when my back was killing me, but like could do okay. I guess I did take a Zoom class. I sat in on Kadu and Larissa's class once,
Yes.
and I was there for like a moment in it, and then a guy did something that they literally had just said a few times not to do. So I was like, all right, I'm sitting down. uh, but my body's kind of messed up. Hopefully fixing that, or I'm talking to doctors about it and everything. But like just sitting in there for the rest of the hour, I was able to get some good tips from her. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I'm going to apply that when I next time I'm dancing, and it was great. It was just like some like information about the head movement and her foot placement, and like that was great. That was worthwhile for me. Like those two little tips were worth my whole hour. Um, I think that you any dancer you can learn at least something from, even new ones. And I've tried to tell like some of our students or people who ask me, because I really don't like the question like, oh, how long have you been dancing? Because I feel like they're already judging themselves in comparison to like me. They're like,
Ah,
oh my god, you're such a good dancer. So how long have you been dancing? Like, don't ask me that one. You don't want to ask me that one. How long have I been training. Like how hard do I
Yeah.
train? Because like then I have to go into the whole spiel with them. Like, hey, when you are dancing, you might be a better dancer within 2 years than someone who's been dancing for 5 because you dance every single day. You practice every single day. Whereas
Yeah.
that person, they like might just go social dancing once a week or something, and they like learned over the years. But it's like you're applying and working at it. So it's really hard to gauge from that type of number in such a quick like comment. Like, oh yeah, I've been dancing for, because I can say that like technically I've been dancing since I was in kindergarten, like my whole life.
Yeah, because hey, but
Right?
I appreciate that you can be transparent on that and realizing again. I think most of us, even Nicholas says here, I also believe that there are some teachers that don't continue to be students themselves.
Yes. I don't like that. Do it.
I think everyone should understand that you are always going to be a student of the game, no matter how many years you've been teaching, how many years you've been dancing. There's always something new to learn. But also, I think you don't give yourself enough credit because even John says, I think
I
Shiloh
was
forgot.
gonna say that. Okay. I even sent a picture.
And for me as well, realizing, like you said, over the years now, you guys have been picking up steam and more people are understanding what you've been doing. And, for me, then realizing, the events you're having and everything in between, before we really get into our last segment and also talk about your new project coming up, is have you had that moment of just kind of looking back on everything and like some of those lessons that you've learned over the years? Hello?
Oh, I thought you froze for a second.
Oh, no, 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 no. No, I meant, yeah, that was my question.
Still.
I was like, hey, I was like,
Wait, what was the question? I feel like it was open ended.
No, meaning is like, over the years, you've been able to travel, you've been able to teach, you've been able to learn. Have there been some really like key point lessons in your life that you've been able to learn over the years through this journey?
um, just I guess I need to not be so hard on myself and know that I will eventually get there.
Okay.
And that can be for anything when it comes to all of dance. Like there are ups and downs. And another thing that I feel both John and I can agree on is that when, because you mentioned it before, a lot of people are in it for the business,
Yeah.
for the money. You guys, honestly, there's not a whole lot of money.
You ain't telling a lie. You ain't
No,
lying.
like if your heart isn't in it for the right reasons, um, it's obvious. And I think that if you're doing this because you're passionate about it, that's great. But just be honest with yourself and like the reasons that you're doing this, because you're going to affect a lot of other people. You are affecting people financially and emotionally and physically. So if you're not willing to like accept that and take responsibility for it, then it's detrimental to not only yourself but our community. Because like when I say that, like you're touching another person, you are maneuvering their body, you are connecting with them. So like I don't know how many people believe in this, but like I believe myself to be a pretty empathetic person, and so like I
Yeah.
can feel like sometimes after a dance or something, sometimes I just might feel drained. I'm like, all right, there was something up with that person. And it affected me. But I'm like, you know what? I opened myself up to that. But I'm also hoping that like I'm opening myself up to positively affecting somebody else. And then also like with the body, I'm like, do you know how to move this body without like wanting to like put it into a pretzel and break
Yes.
it? And I always try to like say that like just like the way we teach is more of like our movements are invitations. They are not a demand. You can't expect my body to like bend all the way backwards. I'm not one of those like contortionists. I'm sorry.
Hey, you've done ballet, but you're not reaching back that far for it.
I don't want to. I'm getting older, okay?
Yes. You don't
And,
need to be reaching that far back in a bachata social dance.
no, it's social dancing. I'm just here to have fun. And just like always be open to learning. I,
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough. Like as a teacher and as a student of just dance and life in general, just like always be open to learning.
Mm. Absolutely. I mean, and for me, again, us even as we're talking, how to put up right now is that you guys have a new. You know what? Let me allow you to tell me what's happening
Yeah.
now with you and John.
All right, so we have our 10-week quarter, or it's our school, okay? Our essential bachata school. We are going to be, it's going to be progressive. We're going to be going over all of the foundations, all the basics that everyone's been talking about that they want to learn. Like, we've gotten a lot of questions about this type of thing. And like you were talking about earlier, we have so many new people in the community, and we just want to go over like how to really build up. So not only are you going to learn like just your basics and foundation and movement, like also of course how to look good while you do it, but it's just going to be all. I found a John. Hi. Sorry. I'm focusing. Obviously I get distracted. But yes, it's going to be all about your foundations and applying it to different moves, all of those sensual moves that you're seeing online everywhere that everyone's doing. You're like, oh my God, it's so sexy. It's so beautiful. I want to do it. So we're going to go over how to do it properly and comfortably and just like all of the basics that are involved with that. Like, obviously, you can't just all of a sudden dip, right?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, how do I do that? All right, so your foot placement, you want to have it here. You want to be pushing your hips in through here. It's just like, we're going to milk all those like good techniques out of you, and you're going to be able to apply it to everything from now on. And that's what this 10-week course is for. And of course, we're hoping to like continue it afterwards, even further on. So, but, it's going to start in April. It's mid-April all the way until June, and we really would love and hope to see more people come. Got quite a few actually, so it's still open, and I hope that people will want to improve their dance with us. I would look forward to having them.
Absolutely. I mean, definitely for me, just being able to speak to you, realizing you really do care about the instructions you give your students because it's much more than just teaching a few steps, a few combinations, a few roles. There's a more of a deeper responsibility because what you give out is also representation when these dancers go to events and people
Yep.
ask, "Hey, what did you learn from?" And then trust me, I've seen it of when there's certain people, in my opinion, just saying for me, I think certain the term of a teacher is used so loosely, and sometimes you can tell by the instruction when I see this person has told me I've taken a class by this person, and I'm like, wow, like how many classes did you take, or was there really more instruction, or just do these term patterns, and you'll find your way. But hey,
Mm-hmm.
having people like you and John, you guys are doing amazing work out there in the Cali area in Anaheim. And I think now it helps us transition to our last segment called the randoms, which is about 5 to 10 questions that I have here that may deal with life, may deal with dance, and everything in between. So, Shiloh, all I need to know is when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Number one, are you an introvert or an extrovert?
What do you think?
You know what? If you want me to answer, I think you are in an extroverted society, but you have an introverted personality.
Ooh. I've actually been curious about this about myself recently. I took that whatever quiz that tells you what you are, INF or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I am apparently an extrovert. I do have a lot of introverted tendencies. I definitely enjoy my alone time, and sometimes I can't handle people. Like
Hey, I totally agree.
I definitely have a lot of those moments actually. I don't know, maybe it really is like the energy and empathetic thing, but I can get very exhausted by some people. But I also know that if I'm not around people for a while, I fall into a funk. I need people. I need people. Like this past week, I was basically by myself in a hospital for a whole week. And as soon as I had a visitor, like I perked right up. I had been crying all day and I got a visitor and I'm like, my world is better.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I mean, some people need more than that.
So like yeah, I'm an extrovert. I know I am. I definitely love my friends. I love spending time with people, and then I am also easily happy just being in my little bubble here at home. I can binge watch the hell out of anything. It drives John nuts. He can't do it. He's just like, we need a break. I'm like, no, let's watch more. But I also love my video games. I will happily game in a whole day, or I will sew or read books. I can do something forever, and it's probably really disturbing to some people, but I can just get
Hey,
stuck doing something.
that's dedication at its finest. All right, next question here. You might have probably answered it, but if you aren't dancing, you are doing blank.
Ooh, so many things, so many. Obviously, you like this headset. It was a Christmas present from my sister
Okay.
and a good friend named Ryan. Um, so I love gaming. And I'm not biased either. Again, like I love dancing, everything. I love gaming, everything. So I'm allowed to love my PC games. I'm allowed to love multiple consoles, board games, and all that jazz. So don't knock it. And then, of course, I'm also a seamstress. I love to sew. I sew a lot of my clothes. It also helps with not buying too many clothes now because I'll look at it and I'm like, that's a piece of trash. um, and I haven't done it in a while, but I do love cosplay. Anything with my hands. I love using my hands. I love crafting. I love creating things. I even love woodwork. Like we have so many tools in the back. My mom and I have both at different times gotten super happy because we got some sort of tool. Power tools are cool.
Hey, simplicity at its finest. And I definitely appreciate that and realizing that you can just dibble and dabble in many things. So this one should be very interesting. And as you are a gamer and figuring out, I think one of your favorite games you're playing right now with John is It Takes Two. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So who is your favorite character from It Takes Two?
Oh. I don't know. The book is funny, but I feel like the main characters, the way they do sometimes, where they just seem like they want to punch him.
Yeah.
I don't know. They both have good aspects. I feel like I can relate to the female character, the wife one, because she's so like adamant about work and like making sure she's like organizing things and getting stuff done and whatnot. But like the husband, the male character, like I love his sarcasm and witty comments because that's also very much me. I'm insanely sarcastic and I'll make witty comments all the time that are probably inappropriate, but I don't care.
Well, I guess you should have been on The Office. I guess.
I've never seen that. I'm
Oh my
sorry, don't hate
God.
me. I've never seen it.
Oh, hurts my heart.
Oh, I know. So many people say that, but I don't know. They always tell me if I can get past the first 3 episodes, I'll be fine, but I just can't get past
Yeah,
those episodes.
I know. Well, I appreciate the answer. All right, this next one should be very interesting. What would be your last meal if you could have
I do love Wagyu. But
one?
no.
Oh, okay.
I know I did that recently. That was bomb.
Like hot pot?
No, I actually went to one of those like 8 course meal things where like it's just a set
Yeah,
price and you don't get to pick anything. They just make it for you and bring it, or
yeah.
they bring it and they make it there for you. But it had like a bunch of different Wagyu everything, and holy shit, that was delicious. Oh my god, I want it again. That's an orgasm in your mouth. Ah, so good,
Yeah.
so good. But I honestly, my favorite food is sushi. So I would want probably the best damn sushi in the freaking world. I can eat anyone like suggests something like, hey guys, what do you want to eat? Or I don't know. And if somebody eventually says sushi, I'm like, down.
Hey,
This girl.
there you go. Hey, I definitely can't complain. So, and kind of really into that, then, if it is your last meal, it is sushi. What role are you going with?
Why you gotta keep doing this to me? Let's see. I love eels, salmon, spiciness. Okay, there's a place that John and I absolutely love going to called Sake to Me.
Mhm.
And
All right, I like to play
it's in
on words.
Cerritos, so if you guys are in LA, Sake to Me. Get that roll. It's got the spicy tuna in it. It's got the avocado. You gotta have an avocado. It's got salmon, unagi, the eel, and just like the eel sauce, and it's just so good. It's
Oh
so
my God.
good.
I definitely would love to
I'm
get
sorry, I haven't had it in like 3 months, and I'm just like drooling over here, and I'm dying, and my soul's dead.
that. All right. Next question here is What's your favorite RPG if you have one?
I really hate this question. That's really hard. I don't really have a favorite RPG. I don't think I do.
Okay.
Because I really like many different types of games, many RPG types of games. Um, I also like first person shooters. Um, if you want to like get legit RPG, then obviously D&D. Like that
Dungeons
was
and
my jam
Dragons.
for a while. I haven't done that in forever. But actually, no. Dungeons and Dragons, that's fun. But have you guys ever done pen and paper Marvel? That's a blast. It's so much easier too. Your character creation doesn't take nearly as long. And it's just super fun, especially if your dungeon master knows what the heck they're doing. Mine did, and he sounded just like Deadpool. And he like would break the fourth wall and everything, and he like talked so much shit and like just ruined our whole campaign. But it was wonderful, and like that's fun.
Okay. Hey, I love the thought that you put behind it. All right, our next question here. I want to definitely see your answer. What would you say to your younger self?
Don't do it. I'm kidding. What would I say to my younger self? Mm, I've honestly asked myself this question a lot, and
Mm,
it's really hard for me to answer because there's different aspects of my life that I'd like to give myself advice about. But it's always like that whole like, what one question or one thing would you tell yourself? And believe in yourself. Maybe that. Because I doubt myself constantly. I know John said this, and I'm I'm aware that I'm very highly aware of myself
yeah.
in a sense that like I know a lot of my faults, I know a lot of my flaws, and I can be aware that I don't believe in myself and still do it. So like I know I have a lot of issues that I deal with, and just don't don't be so cruel to myself.
Mm.
I
Hey,
think I'm too hard.
just that self-reflection there definitely means a lot. All right, this one here goes towards the dance community. So, is there one change you would really like to see within our dance community?
Oh, there's so much drama in the community right now. I think I could talk about that, but I don't know, just support each other. I wish like we were more supportive of each other in every way, shape, and form. Like all the different things that we're having issues with, like whether it's the technique of dancing itself or the creepers or just like anything, like we're a community and a community should be building each other up, not tearing each other down for a different style or an opinion or something. It's a freaking opinion. You're allowed to have it.
Yeah,
Just also don't shove it down somebody's throat. That's not necessary. But just help each other out and accept that you guys can have different opinions and just like protect each other.
mm,
I think that's like the biggest thing that I would want for our community.
I love it. I totally agree because, again, through us having conversations, there is change that can happen. Because most of the times, what we go through or we know of what we've seen, someone else in another area might not have that same experience, and that's okay. But
Mm-hmm.
letting people know that we all go through different experiences in the same world that we're in helps people better understand one another. And I definitely appreciate that, having more support between the communities. I mean, again, if we're all winning, this community is growing for sure. And
Mm-hmm.
even my boy here, Hector Solorzano,
Thank
said
you.
that was earn extra cool points after this
Wait,
interview.
why did I get extra cool points? What did I do?
Hey, just I guess your honesty is appreciated in
Well, I can be
retrospect.
honest. That might be annoying to some people, but I'm not gonna lie.
I like that. While you're sipping your tea.
I didn't even say tea. Look, it's water. No, I'm gonna pour
Okay.
it on my computer. It's
No, no,
water.
no. Don't do that. Oh my god. All right. Our next or our second to last question, I believe here we have. Oh no, actually we have three more. So This next one is, if you could watch one performance right now, what would it be?
There's dancers that come to mind, but honestly, sometimes my brain is like so bad and I forget
Yeah.
names. But I do know that a couple that I, no matter what, thoroughly enjoy their performances, because not only is it just like their athleticism, but their musicality just touches my soul. It makes me so happy. Is Paolo and Luisa. They're
Yeah.
Zouk dancers, and not only are they just epic in all those ways, but as human beings, every encounter, every time I see them, like they're so genuinely happy. Like they remember me, they like give me hugs, and they ask how I'm doing, and just like they're so sweet, so sweet. I love them, and I love watching them. And it doesn't even have to be just like because it's Zouk. And I think I've seen them do something else before, but just their musicality is so fun. And when I dance, like I wish I could have been led by Luisa. I don't know if she leads or not, and I never got a chance to lead her.
Mhm.
But when I've danced with Paolo, oh my god, he blows my brain every time. Like, how did I do that? How did you do that? How did we do it? It was amazing. And like, because I'm like, we're not dancing to the, we are dancing in the music, and it makes me so happy. I'm gonna tell you all, I'm gonna tell everybody this. And I know this question was about performances, but when it comes to dancing itself, everybody, you don't need to go crazy. You don't need to do the most extravagant, crazy patterns and moves and executions of these things. Keep it simple, but keep it fun. Like, if you're playing with music, if you're listening to it and you're enjoying yourself, those are my best dances. And like, even when I went to like, what was it? When I went to Paris, like, their beginners are badass, okay? Their beginners and intermediates are insane. So imagine their advanced people, but it's more like their techniques were there, so they were just having fun with the music, and that's my thing. So a performance is like their performance because they have fun. They have so much fun, and it makes me have fun.
Awesome, awesome. All right, it brings us now to our second to last question. This one should be quick. This one here, I'm giving you an opportunity. You're heading into one of your favorite events right now, and you got two rooms: bachata room or zouk room. Which one are you going in?
Bachata.
Oh, I love that. Just the quick action, that quick release on that. Hey, I appreciate that. Hey, I know, of course, you're a woman of many talents, many disciplines, but hey, I appreciate that you said that. Most people would say even Zook, just the way things are, but ultimately seeing that you're just so well rounded, and hey, you can have fun in both. But
I
yeah,
can.
and that was a
And
quick thing.
and also like, yeah, that was a quick one, right? But like, no matter what type of song you're listening to, because you can just turn on the radio, and I think you can honestly, like, if you're, I don't want to say good enough. That's not a proper way to say it, but like, you can dance anything you want to anything you want.
Mhm.
It's just like if you and your partner are able to connect and then like make that magic happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I'm gonna tell you right now, there are people who've danced, I don't know what, but we've danced it in rooms that were not that style. I don't know what it was, but we danced it.
I definitely appreciate that. I love it. All right. Now it brings us to our last question here. And you kind of touched on it, just different songs. So, right now you're at your favorite event. It's the last night, last song, last call. You can only dance to one song. What is that song?
Oh, what is I'm gonna look it up right now because, like I said, my brain stops working half the time, and you just made me excited, and now it's like, wait, what? um, like we're talking and keep talking to me because I'm searching, and I don't want this to get awkward. You're not talking to me, dude.
Hey, sometimes that silence is golden. I mean, but see, hey, I mean, most people would say Zouk songs, bachata songs, salsa songs. I mean,
Oh, that is so hard. If you're talking about just any song in general,
absolutely.
oh no, why did you do that to me? No. Because right now I would have to say it's between like uh Urban Kids and a bachata song.
Okay.
So and I don't know the name of the Urban Kids one because I'm always annoying my friend with the like names of things, and he just sent me like 7. So I don't know. But there was a remix of a song that, I don't know, for some reason I absolutely love it. But anyways, sorry. But it's called At My Worst by Pink Sweat.
Oh
Sweets?
yes, pink sweat, pink sweats. Yes, I love pink
Yes.
sweats.
I love him, but like it was turned into a bachata. And the second that came out, that was on repeat. I don't know if I drove John nuts or not, but like I love that song. It makes me so happy.
Oh, that's sweet. And
It,
honestly, again,
I
hey,
love that.
even asking these questions, I can just see the joy in your face, kind of the memories you're picking up. So again, thank you for doing this segment. I love doing this at the end with all of my guests. I feel like it really brings the whole conversation full circle, and now it helps us transition to the conclusion of our talk. And to me, to be honest, I feel like I've learned so much in so little time. And of course, our lives are like onions, so many layers, and having people comment and kind of give you feedback is also gratifying. But at least before we go, I'd love to know if you had any last few words for myself in the audience, but also some contact info on how people can reach you and take one of your classes.
Yeah, I can leave it with you. I have Instagram, I have my Facebook, I have a TikTok, but I don't use it. I know some people use that. I also have WhatsApp. But
Hey, I mean, somebody got a WhatsApp. Everybody's got a WhatsApp.
I got a WhatsApp, I got a Telegram, but no, I'm often on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm very responsive, I think, or at least I try, especially on Instagram. And I will send you the link from my Instagram for that. But yeah, if anyone ever wants to just like ask me questions, I don't mind answering questions if they have any. I'm an open book, and I do privates. If you're in the LAOC area, hit me up, or if I'm ever in your area for any festival or social or something, let me know. I'm happy to do that. And yeah, I mean, if you message me on one of those things and you like really want to get in depth, like I don't mind like maybe giving my number as long as it's not creepy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, but no, just message me. I'm quick to respond. A lot of people do that anyways. I've gotten so many random ask questions that I'm just like, sure, yeah, I've never been asked that before. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's dive a little deeper. I never thought I'd be asked this before.
Yeah, I don't mind answering those things. Like you might not see me as responsive on social media, like random posts, like yourself. Like I will respond sometimes, but I'm not all for the drama. I'm like you've already seen in the segment. I'm very more. I like to make sure we're all getting along. I have an opinion, and if you want to ask me personally about it, I will give it for my reasons. My reasons might not be right or wrong, but I just don't like to feed fire when it's not going in a good direction. So, Ziggy, turn on ceiling. It's getting dark. Oh my god, she don't listen. Ziggy, turn on couch lamp. Sorry, I hate her. Whatever.
Oh my god. But hey, honestly, for me, having you on here, especially episode 200, means a lot. Following your career and just seeing honestly how much of an amazing soul you are. I'm glad the LAOC area has people like you that honestly are making the community better day by day, student by student. And for me, again, having you on means a lot. I definitely can't wait to see what you guys have in the future. I definitely love to come up there and even bring this platform publicly there, checking up on you guys. And, honestly, having you on was amazing. All the way from here, from New York to California, I just want to thank you for everything you've contributed to your community and beyond. We see it, we appreciate it, and we value it. And, I thank you and I thank everyone that's tuned into the Live Discussions at Diamond podcast. I myself, Diamond, here with the wonderful Shiloh from the LAOC Anaheim area, representing Zook Chata. And big shout out to John.
Second is the next one.
Say again?
April 2nd is our next one. Remember, it's once a month, you guys. April 2nd. Coming out.
Oh, see, like you got April 2nd, then you got that 10-week boot camp. Like you guys are grinding. I love it. And guys, hey, check out them. More information will be posted on my page during the week of upcoming events for them. And honestly, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been episode 200 of the Live Discussions with Diamond podcast. We're back tomorrow. We're talking with Vladi from Viva la Bachata.
Hey, Vladi.
Yes, on Let's Talk About It, the state of bachata in the U.S. So it's going to get very interesting tomorrow. But Shiloh, thank you so much for your time and your patience.
Thank you for having me. It was super fun.
Thank you. Guys, everyone, thank you for tuning in. This episode will be on Spotify soon. Check it out. See you soon.